Welcome back to Reviews by Hunter. That's me, I'm Hunter, and today we're going to be talking about the newest rated R horror release, Obsession. So I got to see Obsession yesterday, and I got to say, man, I have so many good things to say about this movie. This was a really fun psychological rated R horror film. It's directed by Curry Barker, and it comes in at a budget of around $1 million, so very low budget, which is even more impressive because the whole movie looks good. The cast did an amazing job. We have Indy Navarrete, who plays Nikki. We have Cooper Tomlinson, who plays Ian, who is the best friend of Bear, played by Michael Johnston. And then we have Megan Lawless, who plays Sarah, who's also part of this friend group. And then Andy Richter, who is pretty much just their boss. But anyway, this movie is basically about Bear, who has this huge crush on Nikki Freeman. Eventually he goes to a shop to get her a gift, and he gets her this gift that is kind of looks like what would be a gag gift. It says One Wish Willow on the box. You break it and you make a wish, right? Seems harmless enough. At the time, Bear doesn't know that this thing actually does have magical powers. Oh, I guess I should say spoilers in this review. So at one point when dropping off Nikki, he breaks the One Wish Willow apart, and he makes the wish, I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone else in the world. And from that moment, this movie is so tense. It is so tense and uncomfortable and awkward, but like intentionally awkward, because all of a sudden we kind of have now a fake Nikki. The real Nikki is gone. We now have a Nikki that is trying to kind of just impersonate Nikki Freeman and fulfill the wish of Bear to love him more than anything else. But this turns into, well, an unhealthy obsession. She starts getting clingy. Her speech patterns start getting weird. She starts being very controlling about what he does and where he goes. And, well, obsessive. And so it's very, the reason it's so tense throughout the whole film is because you just don't know what this fake Nikki is going to do. Like, at one point, she duct tapes his door shut so that he can't go to work. And it's just like, well, I guess you can just stay home with me now. And the look on Bear's face is just a look of like, what in the hell? But here's the thing. Bear continues to play out this fantasy because he got what he wanted with his wish, right? So there's like a montage of him and Nikki going on dates, and now they're all lovey-dovey and this, that, and the third. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. For example, there's a scene where he wants to go to a boys' night, and she freaks out. There's a lot of that in this film where, like, she'll freak out over just tiny things. Like, he wants to go to the bathroom. Where are you going? And actually, at one point in the film, she's like, can I stand outside then while you go to the bathroom? Like, it gets creepy. Now, there are a number of scenes that I think do psychological horror so well because they just let you sit in that moment. They just let you sit in whatever weird thing Nikki is doing. For example, the scene where Bear goes to work and she's smiling very creepily, just waiting for him to come home, right? But she pees all over his carpet and also throws up. Stuff like that. And he comes back from work. Oh, dude. And this is a shout out to the sound design team. The sound design was on point on amplifying the awkward, weird feeling, the tension between these two characters, mostly Bear and Nikki, throughout the film. But you can hear the sloshing of the piss and the throw up as Bear and Nikki are walking around when he returns. And it was just like, oh, I had to stop eating my popcorn, bro. But there's a lot of moments in this movie like that just make you go, what in the hell? I don't like that very much. And it just does a really good job also, in my opinion, with the pacing of the film. I never felt bored throughout this movie. I always felt like, what is Nikki going to do next? I know she's about to do something else that's just off the wall, just off her rocker. It also does kind of operate as like a possession movie in a way, because Nikki, we learn, is like trapped. I don't know if it's her consciousness. I don't know if it's her soul, but the real Nikki is still alive. She's just trapped. Whether that's trapped inside her own body, I'm not sure. It did seem that way, especially in the scene where Nikki, fake Nikki falls asleep and real Nikki comes out. That scene, dude. And she's begging for Bear to unalive her. That's like, it seems like she was being like tortured, the real Nikki, throughout this whole film, but Bear doesn't care. his response to this is, what's so bad about loving, or no, what's so bad about being with me? So we start to learn that, oh, wait a minute, Bear is willing to put up with all of this insane behavior because he has Nikki. So really, who is the actual obsessed one? Like, he defends all of Nikki's actions to the friend group, saying, well, she's just going through a hard time. I think she was just on drugs. But she's okay now. There's always an excuse. And I feel like he's trying to convince his friends, but really convince himself that no, everything's fine. It's going to be okay, because he wants Nikki Freeman. But he loves the idea of Nikki, but he doesn't love Nikki, because he didn't care about freeing her. He just cared about, I feel like, his image, right? Like, he wants to be seen with this beautiful woman that he loves, although I think it's more lust. He talks about his dreams of being a food critic, but he doesn't really have a love for food. It's more like he just wants to get paid a lot of money to do it and be acknowledged. So we start to find out that, maybe Bear is kind of actually more of an antagonist than a protagonist here. I think the creepiest scene for me, there's two. The one that I just told you about, where the real Nikki is pleading with Bear, it was just, the way they did it was so uncomfortable. There's scenes also where she's watching him sleep in the dark, and then like scenes where she'll move in reverse and then start again. Like, oh my God, the physical body acting was so good. It was so like, ugh, that is uncomfortable. Anyways, where was I? I kind of lost my train of thought there, but I just love how this movie was firing on all cylinders, from the pacing, the cast, although small, knocked it out of the park. The sound design did a great job giving that tense atmosphere, especially in moments where you didn't know what Nikki was going to do next. I was talking about what the creepiest moment of the movie was to me. For me, it was when she sends him to work with a lunchbox, and it looks like just a regular sandwich, okay? Turns out, fake Nikki cooked his cat, who we see overdose on his grandma's pills, because that's the house he lives in, because he inherited it from his grandma. The cat eats the pills in the beginning of the movie and overdoses. The cat's name was Sandy. And what does Bear eat in the movie? A cat sandwich, bro. And once he realizes what he ate, oh, dude, I started to gag, bro. I started to gag. Can't say I've seen that in a movie, bro. And he throws up, but still is like defending what Nikki is doing. And all he says to her is, you can't cook the cat, Nikki. You can't do that. Like, he's trying to reason with like a shell of the person that he supposedly loves. And oh my God, just their dynamic and their back and forth through this movie was really sad, actually, because poor real Nikki Freeman didn't do anything wrong. She's just like potentially being tortured. Her soul's being tortured is what it felt like, because at one point in the film, he calls the place trying to alter his wish, not cancel it like most normal people would do. He wants to alter it, although he's messing with magic and powers and supernatural stuff beyond what he can clearly comprehend or handle. And the guy's like, yeah, we don't really do that here, but do you want to talk to her? And this caught me off guard. He goes, do you want to talk to her? And he's like, wait, what? And all you hear on the other end of the phone is screaming, like tortured soul. I'm in the depths of hell, being prodded with sticks and forks and knives, screaming, just like, oh, like shrieking. And this mother still doesn't get it through his thick skull that, dude, you don't love this woman. You just love the idea of her, and you need to find a way to free her, except the only way to free her would be to unalive himself or get someone to make a wish that contradicts his. And of course, he doesn't want to unalive himself throughout the majority of this movie. He's trying to make it work. And oh my God, this movie had me thinking about it way after I had seen it in the theater. I've seen a lot of discussion on the film. I don't know if I brought this up already, but the movie made, at this point, the box office has made $86 million. The budget was $1 million max from my research, which means this movie potentially made 86 times its budget. That's insanity. It's just, oh my God, this was so good. And I loved the ending. I actually really, really loved the ending. I got a little worried because I've seen some bad endings, particularly in horror films. But essentially, in the end, Bear does try to unalive himself both with a gun and with the pills in his grandma's cabinet, but doesn't go through with it because of course he doesn't. He won't take responsibility for what he's done. Bear gets himself killed. He gets his best friend Ian unalived. He also gets Sarah unalived, which was also, even though that car scene with the brick, we all saw it coming, but it was still like, holy crap, bro. But they do a fake out with the gun like 3 different times. And after he decides, no, I can't do it, he swallows the pills. He goes to try and make himself throw up. But then all of a sudden, I should back up. He brings a One Wish Willow trying to get fake Nikki to make a wish to contradict the wish that he made to fix things, right? But he leaves it out in the living room when he goes to hide in the bathroom at the end of the movie. And so it was crazy because she uses the One Wish Willow, and I'm pretty sure she wished that Bear would love her more than anything in the world. So for a split second, he comes out into the living room. They're all lovey-dovey. Ian comes through the door being like, hey, man, the wish worked. It really worked because he also tried to convince Ian that all of this is real. Boom! Dome to the skull. Fake Nikki eliminates Ian just like that. And then freaking Bear overdoses and foams at the mouth and passes away the same way that Sandy the cat did in the beginning of the movie. What then happens is we see fake Nikki kind of shrieking like, oh my God, no, until real Nikki snaps back. She comes back. Wherever she was trapped, she's back now and is clearly like in shock. She is in shock. I mean, she's looking around her surroundings. 2 of her best friends are dead. And it was so like, I didn't know if real Nikki knew everything that had gone on while she was trapped or not, which makes it even scarier. This poor girl, bro. And what's even more insane is then the movie ends. We don't know if real Nikki goes to jail. Does she go to therapy? What happens to real Nikki after going through all of this, bro? But I think this is a cautionary tale in a way of be careful what you wish for, and also lust and loving the idea of someone is not love. That famous quote of if you love somebody, you need to let them go. Bear was not willing. Sorry if I haven't been speaking into the microphone properly, but Bear basically ignores that. He loves her selfishly. He loves the idea of her and Sorry about that. What I was saying is Bear basically doesn't actually love her. Okay, and in the end, it was Bear that was the obsessed one, and it got literally 3/4 of the friend group killed, and the last one's probably going to go insane. But that's really all I have to say about Obsession. It's just such a unique movie because so many people are really, really getting into it. Like, apparently, I've seen people say that they've gone back to rewatch it just to take notes on all the things you might have missed. Honestly, I would love to rewatch this movie. I went by myself. I'd love to take some friends to go, see what they thought. I did hear some people in my theater after the movie talking about how much they enjoyed it. And yeah, I would give this film, for a psychological indie-ish $1 million budget horror film, I would give it a 10 out of 10. That was great. That was really, really good. I don't really have any complaints about the movie. They stuck everything. They stuck the landing, the way they opened up the movie, a lot of the foreshadowing throughout the film, like with Sandy the cat. It was just all so good. And man, there's so many more things that I could have talked about, but I'm trying to make these reviews a little bit shorter for you guys. So that's really all I have. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your summer. I'm going to be making more videos because I have more free time. I'm excited. The next movie I'm actually hoping to review is The Backrooms. So that'll be coming up soon. But other than that, guys, have a wonderful day. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. I would appreciate it. Thank you.